What's up, guys? Welcome to my first ever video with my actual voice in it. This is pretty epic. Got my nice, very crystal clear mic here, as you can probably tell. And today we're just gonna be doing a bad business tier list. 100% factual, definitely. No opinions here, all facts. And I guess we'll just get started. The model 1887 is a cringe shotgun, but I'm not gonna put it in the cringe tier. It's pretty bad as far as shotguns go, unless you're using a Taurus Judge as a secondary to swap back and forth, and you can actually shoot them skipping the animation that the model has. But alone it's probably D tier. It's not very good. It has a really tight spread though, so it's not all terrible. The 44 Magnum is literally a worse Deagle, but it's still pretty good, so I'll put it in the C tier. Op, I don't really like the Op. It's pretty fun close range. You can really aggro snipe with it. I like the scope it has. It even go with the Coyote. Its damage drops off really fast and it doesn't one shot for very far. So I'll probably put it in the C tier also. AK-47. This is like the main gun that all the noobs think is broken when it really isn't that good. And I don't know what to put this in. Probably B tier. I say the AK is decent. It has a 3-shot headshot, but it shoots really slow. Has a lot of horizontal, you just have to deal with it. And for some reason I have 2 AKs here, so that's epic. RX 160, gonna be putting in A tier. S tier guns are gonna be like the top of the top broken, or a gun that I really like. And the RX I don't think is completely broken. I think it's really strong if you have the right build for it. And yeah, so that's A. Next is going to be the Aug A2. The Aug's probably the second best SMG right behind the SM03. I don't think it's better than the ARX though, so I'll put it right behind the ARX. And then Hollowed Blaster. I've only used this in randomizer and gun game. It is really good if you can hit headshots, but I don't know. I just don't really like it very much, so I'll just put that in D tier. Flashbangs are S tier, absolutely insane. If you're playing in a comp match and insta-heal's banned, flashbangs are definitely one of your go-tos next to nades and mollies and stuff. All the throwables really are very strong. They might all just go in S tier, to be honest. They're really good. Well, I guess compared to insta-heal, they'd be like A tier. Because we're going to be doing insta-heal here. So where's insta-heal anyways? I have no idea. I'll just put that one in S tier later. Oh, there it is. Insta-heal S tier, best thing in the game. It's absolutely broken. They should just remove it in my opinion, but they're not going to, so I'd like to see more nerfs. Next we have the K-Bar. This is F tier. I don't like this knife at all. I don't like the animations. I don't like the inspect. Stab is weird. Bad knife. If you use it, you're cringe. Maybe even cringe tier, to be honest. Bow is definitely cringe tier. Bow is absolutely horrible. You can only draw it while regular sprinting, and after they got rid of regular sprinting, it feels really weird to use now. And I don't know. You just have to spend a lot of time with the bow to actually get good value out of it. And it's always really annoying to die to also because it one-shots you, obviously. And then you're the brass knuckles. These were the most broken item in the game for a time. And then they got nerfed. And then now they just kind of swing really fast and they're kind of fun to mess around with. So probably put them in C tier, I'd say. They're actually pretty good. You can wipe like a whole squad with them if you're just spam clicking. Butterfly knife is S tier. It's my favorite knife in the game. It has really good animations. I like the stab. The only one that's even close to it is probably like hunting knife and karambit. I like the animations on those. But yeah, butterfly knife's my favorite. Crossbow is F tier. I really think it's bad. It has terrible iron sights, and I always seem to get them in a randomizer and gun game. It's just so bad. Most of the time you'll get a hit marker and you'll just wish you could get past that gun, but yeah, definitely the bane of randomizer. You do not want to see that. Icicle DB is probably the best shotgun in the game. It has insane range. That's why it only has 2 shots. I'll slap that one in B tier. Probably the highest rating I'll go for a shotgun. Deagle is actually insane. It 2-taps limbs, I think, and body. So whereas the 44 Magnum 3 taps, Deagle 2 taps, and it's kind of crazy. It's a really good secondary for cleaning up. If you get someone low, you just swap to the Deagle and just spam click. You don't even need to aim. As long as you land one shot, they're basically dead. So I'll put the Deagle in front of the AK. Dragunov. This is actually, I don't know, I actually kind of like the Dragunov. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I think it's better than the Op. It might not one-shot body shot close, but it's semi-auto, it has 10 rounds. And I don't know, something about the Dragunov, I just like using it. Probably put it top of C tier. Next to the DSR-50, I hate the DSR-50. It is the worst sniper in the game in my opinion. It has 3 bullets. I don't care if it one-shot body shots. I hate the model, it looks ugly, they need to remodel it. It's just really, really bad. So we'll put that, we'll put it above these garbage weapons right here. It's definitely not as bad as like all these ones at the bottom here. Dynamite, I haven't actually played a whole lot with the dynamite, but it's pretty decent. It's kind of just like a worse grenade though, but it's kind of good for clearing hill. It gets the job done. It's when you get a hit marker with it though, it feels really bad. Like why not just use a grenade? So we'll put this in B tier, probably the bottom of B tier. Scorpion Evo is a gun that I wish was good because it feels so good to use, and then you just hit 1 million hit markers and you're like, why am I using this? I love the recoil on it, I love the fire rate, I love everything. It's just not meta. So I'll probably put it above the Dragunov. FAL has the same problem as most semi-autos in this game. If you spam click it above 60 FPS, your gun will stutter and it won't actually shoot as fast as you'd like it to. And it just makes the FAL unusable, it really does. So it's just F tier. If they change how semi-autos work in Bad Business, it is easily one of the best assault rifles in the game. It's the only assault rifle left that has over 300 stud damage range. It didn't get affected by all like the range nerfs and stuff, and it has insane headshot damage, insane body damage. It's really good, but it's just unusable. FAMAS is actually really good. I think both auto and burst versions are very usable. I like the burst version though because you can one burst somebody and it still has a 3-shot headshot. So I'm gonna put the FAMAS bottom at A tier. Firework is terrible. You can't inspect it. It has really bad stab animation. I don't know why you'd want to stab someone with a firework. Definitely going right above the K bar. These are the worst 2 melees in the game. Flail sucks. Cringe tier. Actually, no, it doesn't even deserve cringe tier. Bottom of F. It is actually unusable. It's like you look at the katana and you look at the flail and you're like, why would anyone in their right mind use the flail? It actually makes no sense. So flail, bottom of F tier. FMG9. FMG9 is similar to the Scorpion Evo, where I wish it was good, but it just really isn't. I think Scorpion Evo is better though, so I'll slap it at the bottom. I mean, even Brass Knuckles, like comparatively to other melees, seems better than the FMG9 comparatively to other SMGs. Frag Grenade, top of A tier. Really good. I think the only better throwable that isn't the insta heal is probably the stick nade, and the stick nade is just really, really good. But yeah, frags, they one shot, exactly what you need. You can cook them, kill people before they even have time to react, and yeah. G11. G11's similar to the FAMAS. It's actually pretty good now if you get good setups on it. It lasers, it has no recoil, it has a massive mag. You just need to be able to hit headshots is the problem. So not everyone's going to be able to make effective use out of it. I think I'll put it just above the AK. G17 sucks. It's terrible. It's literally worse in every way than like most of the secondaries. It's like a Tech 9, but worse. I compared the stats to the Tech 9 and it's literally just straight up worse. So G17, top of F tier. Next we have the G18. This gun is actually very good in comparison to the G17. Basically all the machine pistols are good, even the Scorpion, which doesn't see a lot of use. I'd say G18's probably bottom of A tier. if you're not using Mac 10 or Tech 9 or one of the one-shot secondaries like the Deagle, definitely G18 is what you're looking for. I mean, even you can use G18 over Mac 10, depends on what you're looking for, to be honest. But I mean, Mac 10 has so many attachments, it's just like, might as well use it. But yeah, G18 bottom of A2 is pretty good. Galil is also really good in my opinion. I think it'll be top of B tier. It's just such a solid gun. You really can never go wrong with the Galil if you pick it. You're never picking the Galil and thinking, wow, this gun sucks, I wish I had a better gun. It just always gets the job done. G36 is terrible, bottom of D tier. It was bad and then they nerfed it and now it's more bad. So that's sad times. Great Sword, cringe tier, not even going to talk about it. If you use Great Sword, I don't like you. Gunpad, probably the same. It's literally just versions of the starter guns, but you can't put attachments on them, and it really doesn't make any sense. It's kind of fun to use because you can aim with your crosshair, which is something I really enjoy doing in Bad Business, but yeah, it's just not very good. Gyrojet is a gun that is usable with a long range scope on it, but like I tried out some builds where you're using a Gyrojet secondary and a really close range gun primary, and it's actually not bad to deal with snipers and whatnot, but you have to be able to aim it. You have to be able to hit those shots, and you have to get used to it. I think I'll put it bottom of C tier. It's actually not terrible. Hammer's, it's so bad. It really is so bad. It's worse than the K-bar. It's probably the worst melee. It's better than flail. Let's be real. Because why would you use the flail? You like put a riot shield on your back and actually get value. But yeah, hammer sucks. Scar hammer on the other end is actually pretty good. There's the fire rate bug. You can get full fire rate the second you start shooting. Even without it, it still melts people if they're bad. You can wipe entire teams with this and get like massive kill feeds. It's really fun to use. It's not super effective in comp just because of the ramp up rate. And you have to set up the fire rate every time you want to engage someone, and it's just really annoying to use. But I think it's probably better than the Scorpion Evo, so we'll put that top of C tier. Heartbeat sensor is actually really useful in comp, not so much in the main game. If you're using this in the main game, what are you doing? It's useful in comp to, you know, get people flanking you, people around your sides know how many people are coming, but it just really sees no play in the main game, which is kind of unfortunate when everyone's spamming insta heal. So I'd say it's probably bottom of D tier. It's still usable. Like, these guns are just unusable down here. These are no-goes. These are still usable right here. And yeah, bottom of D tier. Honey Badger, probably the best gun in the game right now, in my opinion. I think the Honey Badger nerf changed absolutely nothing. It's still extremely strong. It doesn't even have a revamp, and it's so strong. It's just everything you want in a gun. Just beam people, laser them, fast reload. Silencer built into it. The only thing that's bad about it is the recoil, and it's actually not terrible to control because it shoots so fast. The hunting knife. The hunting knife, I really enjoy the stab animation on this. Probably put it B tier. I really like the stab, but the inspec's not very good, and I just like the butterfly knife better. That's the only reason it's not higher. Icicle Launcher, you have to be able to hit your shots with this, or it's completely useless. It's kind of fun to mess around with, but getting triple headshot hit markers like past 100 studs feels bad. So put it above the DSR 50 here. Pancor Jackhammer, I know I said the model's probably the worst shotgun in the game, but I completely forgot about the Jackhammer. This thing sucks. It's just really bad. Don't use it. That's all I have to say. Taurus Judge, cringe tier definitely. If you use this as a secondary, I actually feel bad for you. That's all I'm going to say on that matter. Karambit, right next to the hunting knife. Both of these are the next. I used to main Karambit before they added butterfly knife because I was waiting for the butterfly knife for so long. And I have quite a few kills on the Karambit, and I think it's the only knife I have gold, Damascus gold. So yeah, definitely like the Karambit and the hunting knife, but I'm butterfly knife guy now. Katana also cringed here. It got nerfed, but the backstab wasn't really the problem, to be honest. It's more of the swing speed. I mean, I was never complaining about getting backstabbed by a katana, because you know they're coming. You can hear the swings. It's more the fact that they can triple swing in about like just under a second. It's kind of crazy. L85 sucks. It's the worst LMG in the game, worse than the Skyhammer. I don't like it at all. I know a lot of people like it. I'm not a fan. Where did I put the Skyhammer? C? Yeah, we'll put this D then. Quicklime is actually really useful. It blinds people. That you're not really using it for the damage. You're using it for the blind. You're using it for the control, the zoning. You can shut off a corridor. People can't run through it, or else they'll just be dead because they can't see you. Probably above Dynamite, top of B tier. Luger sucks. I really wish the Luger was good. I'm a huge fan of the Luger, but it just sucks. It really does. So I'm gonna put it in D tier. M16. I haven't played a lot with the M16, but apparently it's decent. If you have the right build. I don't have any attachments on it though, so I'll just slap it in B tier. I could change though if I play with it more, which I've been planning on doing recently. I just need to grind out the attachments. 1911 sucks. It has the same problem as the FAL with the semi-auto issue. It's probably better than the Luger. I'll put it just above the Luger. Actually, we'll put it above Heartbeat Sensor. I think G36 is probably better than it, not Heartbeat Sensor. M1 Garand I kind of like, but it's not that good. It's just the SKS outclasses every other rifle in the game so hard that it's hard to justify using the other rifles. Put it below Icicle. We'll put it just above Icicle Launcher. I think the only one here better than is probably the L85. M249 is actually really good. 3-shot headshot, decent fire rate, low recoil, massive mag. You can just anchor a position and melt people for as long as you want. When you run out of ammo though, you're kind of screwed if someone chases you. But that's okay because you're probably going to have like a Tech 9 as a secondary and you'll be perfectly fine. And yeah. I say M249 is A tier probably. M4A1, I want to put S tier, but it did get mobility nerfs. I think it's not super broken anymore. I think it's not on the same level as the Honey Badger, so I'll put it very, very top of A tier. It would be S tier without the movement nerfs, but it's just a bit slower now and it's easier to deal with. It's still very, very strong. Probably the second best gun behind the Honey Badger. Maybe third, but yeah. Mac 10. Mac 10 is probably the best secondary in the game behind the Tech 9. So I think I'll put the Mac 10 right behind the M4 and then I'll put Tech 9 S tier when I get to it. Tech 9 really is just cracked with the 60 headshot damage. MG42 is actually pretty good. I think it's probably just above the Scar Hammer. I don't think it's breaching B tier though. It melts people close range. It doesn't really have any range game, but it's actually pretty fun to use, to be honest. I'd recommend just putting a random build onto it and just going into a lobby. It's actually pretty fun. Mark 14 sucks. Similar to the M1 Garand. It doesn't 2-shot body shot, which is really bad for a DMR when you have the SKS 2-shot limbing people. So yeah, we'll put this right next to the M1 Garand. I like the M1 Garand more though, so it'll be below it. The Model 1873 is... It was actually my favorite sniper for a while. Might still be, to be honest. It just has such a long reload. You're reloading for literally like 7 hours when you use it. We'll slap it in B tier. Molotov is really good. Really good for King of the Hill. You can just yeet him on hill, yeet him wherever you want, block a doorway. Similar to the Quicklime, it doesn't blind people though, it just does more damage. Probably just above the Flashbang, right below the Aug. Mosin, I kind of like the Mosin. I like the iron sights. It feels pretty good to use, but it shoots really slow. And it's just better snipers out there, to be honest. I'll put it C tier. MP5, even with the revamps, still sucks. I don't know. It feels like it got worse in my opinion. I really don't like the new MP5. I think Scorpion's even probably better than it. Probably not the FMG9. We'll put it right next to the op, right above the op. MP7. MP7's kind of good, but it just gets outclassed by a lot of other guns, and it's really hard to justify using it. I think it's in a similar situation as the MP5, just kind of mid-pack. There's just better guns to use, so I'll just put it right there. Navy Revolver, S tier, broken. This gun is so good. It doesn't even require skill to use. You just spam click and hope a bullet goes into someone's forehead, and most of the time it does. It's so good. Love the Navy Revolver, but it feels terrible dying to it because you know they didn't even aim at you. P90 is fun to use. Has no recoil. You can just track people all day. Just laser them. Does no damage though. Bottom C tier. Poleaxe, F tier. It's down here with the flail for worst melee in the game. It's probably worse. At least you can swing the flail like somewhat fast. Poleaxe has like the longest swing time ever. I mean, it has a range, but who really cares? Bottom of F. PP19 is actually really good right now, to be honest. Do I have any SMGs in here? No, we'll slap it in B tier then. PP19 definitely B tier. Sounds PPK sucks, to be honest. It's not very good. Even with the 60 round drum mag, it just gets outclassed by Mac 10, G18, even the Scorpion, to be honest. Gets outclassed by Tech 9, Deagle. Why would you use this? I mean, I'd rather use the 44 Magnum over this thing, so we'll put it at the bottom of C tier. Ray gun is actually pretty good, but it's banned in comp, so I never use it. It has a really good fire rate, and I think it has infinite damage range if I remember correctly. Even if it doesn't, it's still pretty good. I'm just thinking what I want to put it above. Probably put it below MP5. I think it's better than the op. I'd rather use a ray gun than the op, to be honest. Rolling block rifle. It's really fun to use. It's not very good. If you're hitting those body shots though, you're just one-tapping people all day and it feels really good. It only has one shot though. So as soon as you get overwhelmed with two people, you're kind of screwed. And if you miss, you're also screwed. So you really got to be on top of your game when you're using it. I'll put it just above the LED5. Remington 870 is kind of like a middle of the pack shotgun. I'll just slap it in the middle of C tier. It shoots pretty slow, but has decent range, like for bullet spread. But it just feels bad because it's just really inconsistent. A lot of the shotguns are super inconsistent, to be honest. You're just not. You land like 20 pellets on someone and they don't die, and you're like, what just happened? Keltec, same thing as the FAL. FAL is probably better than it though. Semi-autos don't work in this game. Impossible to use. Okay, Riot Shield is either S tier or cringe tier. We'll slap it in the cringe tier. Put it top of cringe tier because it's so good. Riot Shield will absorb literally every bullet incoming at you if you're not facing someone. It's so good for that. It's completely broken. You pull it out, people can't even shoot you besides your feet. You just W key them and spam left click. You can quick switch it with your knife to one shot somebody with melee. You can quick switch it to finish someone off if they're below 75. It just does everything, and I'm really glad it's banned in comp because it is insane. It really is. You know, we're slapping an S tier. Riot Shield's broken. Sega 12 is probably just slightly better than the Remington. You can just spam left click and it actually doesn't stutter that badly, and it one shots a pretty decent amount of the time, and it has a fast reload, faster than the Jackhammer, and it actually feels pretty good to use. Seiko Trg, I mean, it's basically the same thing as the Mosin, right? Let's put it just above it. Actually, I kind of like the Mosin a little bit more. I think the Seiko is probably better than the Mosin, but I'm a fan of the Mosin. Scar H, probably just below the M4. This gun, you literally can't go wrong with it. It's so good, so consistent. Does all the damage you need. The only problem is low mag size, but once it gets revamped, that won't be a problem anymore. Even before the revamp, it's still cracked. The only thing you have to worry about is your mag size, but it has a really fast reload. So as long as you can pay attention to when you're going to run out of ammo, get the cover, reload really quick, you'll be fine. Very good gun. Aries Strike is my favorite LMG in the game. So I'm going to put it just above the M249. Even though the M249 is probably slightly better, I really enjoy using the area strike. I like the fire rate. It just feels better than the M249, but M249 is objectively better. Just know that. Scorpion. Scorpion's weird. It shoots kind of slow and it feels bad. And it's just like, use the Tech 9 if you're gonna use a gun that shoots that slow. It really needs a revamp or something, or a buff. But I always have fun when I use the Scorpion. I'm never complaining. We'll slap it right next to the other Scorpion. These guns are both guns that feel good, but they just need something more to them. SKS is the best rifle in the game. 2 shots everywhere. It has damage drop off, which you have to worry about, but really it's fine. Slap a lightweight scope on this, whatever attachments you want. You are going to be fragging if you're landing your shots. So we will put this just above the FAMAS. I think above this SKS is the stuff that you really want to be using in comp. Aug A2, M4 Scar H. FAMAS is like kind of, you want to use it, maybe, maybe not. But these ones are definitely stuff you want to be using in comp. Obviously, most of these are banned up here. Insta Heal, Honey Badger, Navy, Riot Shield. SL7 Match is probably the best sniper in the game. It shoots so fast, its scope is so good, it has a nasty reload. It doesn't have that much recoil. I mean, you were just lasering people with this thing all day. Definitely the best sniper, so we'll slap it the M249. Although you obviously have to be hitting your shots with every sniper. SM03 is the best SMG in the game. Probably. Okay, remember when I said M4 was the second best gun? Definitely SM03 is the second best gun. M4 is third. SM03 is so good. It 3-shot headshots. It hits 40 on the limbs. Has good fire rate, good hip fire, low recoil, fast reload, everything you want. It's so good. Smoke grenade completely useless unless you're with 20 friends in a lobby and you guys just want to lag the server. It's so bad. It does absolutely nothing. And also, if you're trolling, you just want to like spam melee people, you throw some smokes and just run around with like a katana or something. But yeah, smoke grenade's pretty bad. Snowball Launcher. Snowball Launcher is kind of like a slug shotgun. It feels like it just hits so hard, but it has really bad hip fire accuracy, and the sight's kind of weird. But it's actually not that bad, so we'll slap it on the bottom of C tier. Fast 12 sucks, it's really inconsistent. Slap it right here with the Pancor Jackhammer. These ones are both so inconsistent when you're using them, but every time you die to them you get 1 shot, so that feels bad. Spellbook sucks, it has terrible hipfire, terrible recoil. Really need to add like 4 grips to the spellbook, then it'll be meta, to be honest. Or like a bipod or something. Or maybe slap a coyote sound on top of the spellbook. Easy collab. But yeah, we'll just slap this one F tier. Probably put it just below the DMRs, or not the DMRs, semi-autos. We're almost done here. Alright, Sten Gun. Sten Gun is similar to the Scorpion Evo. I think I'll slap it right below it. I really enjoy using the Sten, to be honest. Every time I play with it, I have fun. It's just not that good though. Middle of C tier, just your average gun. STG shoots way too slow. Although, if you're in a bot lobby, you can just track people all day with this thing and dink their heads off like it's nothing. It is pretty fun to use, not that good. Probably top of D tier. The stick, I really like the swing animation on the stick. It's actually kind of cracked. I love using the stick, but it has no inspect animation, which is really annoying because you just spam T to inspect it and it never inspects. It feels really bad, so we're gonna slap that C tier. Stick grenade is the best throwable in the game besides insta heal. We'll slap that right above the frag. It's so good for finishing people off. Entry fragging into a room, you just eat some stick grenades in and clean up. It basically does the peeking for you. TAR 21 sucks. It was the best gun in the game and they nerfed it in the ground and they kept nerfing and they kept nerfing it. And now it's so bad it needs a revamp. It's literally on its deathbed waiting for a revamp. And there's just no reason to use it right now, really. I guess I'll put it top of C tier. There's no way I could put it below these shotguns. Tech 9 is cracked. My favorite secondary right now. Probably put it just above the Mac 10. It's so good. 3-shot headshots, 60 headshot damage, 40 on the limbs and torso. It just hits like a truck. It's similar to the SMO3. They both just hit like a truck, which is exactly what you want. Because if you die, your teammates can trade for you because they're already low because you hit so hard. That's exactly what you want. You want your teammates to be able to clean up kills that you couldn't get if you die. It's very useful. Throwing knife sucks. It's really weird to throw, and even if you throw a long range one, sometimes you'll get hit markers, and it's just put it right below the heartbeat sensor. Probably the worst throwable in the game. Tommy gun I kind of like. I wish it had a bigger mag size. It definitely needs a revamp to be useful, but I actually quite enjoy using the Tommy gun. Put it right above the SCG. UMP 45 is, it just doesn't have the damage numbers, to be honest. It has the revamp. It has good attachments. You can get it low recoil. You can get it fast mobility. You can get whatever you want out of it. It just doesn't do enough damage, which is the problem. And it's similar to the TAR in that factor, but I'll put it just above it because it has the revamp. So we'll put that one in C tier. AS Val, S tier, my favorite gun in the game. If I was doing purely on balance, I'd probably slap it below the Mac 10. I think the Scar H is better than the AS Val. Actually, I think the ARX is probably better than the AS Val. I think it's probably right next to the AUG in terms of balance. I think the AUG and the AS Val are very similar. But I'm slapping in an S tier just because it's my favorite gun. And I have like 22,000 kills on it. So yeah. Chris Vector was the gun I mained when I first came into bad business like a year ago. I was a low level just spamming the Vector. I have like 4,000 kills on it. But it doesn't really hold up anymore. It still lasers people close range. Like if you catch someone off guard, they're dead in like half a second because you just melt them. I think it's probably similar to these guns here. It's just not that good. I feel like that's every gun in C tier. You want to use them, but you just can't justify using it because there's all these better guns. So yeah, we'll slap the Chris Vector right there. And then last one here, Viking Axe. It's like a worse Riot Shield. I'll put it in the bottom of A tier. It still absorbs bullets, and it can absorb bullets in front of you, but it's just, it absorbs less bullets than the Riot Shield is basically what I'm saying here. It's like a Riot Shield with a smaller hitbox, so just use the Riot Shield. Although it is still cracked because it blocks bullets. Any item in the game that blocks bullets is going to be good no matter what. And yeah, so that's A tier. And that's going to be it. We'll slap the double AK in here right next to the other AK. Boom. Double AK. Alright. Well, that's my tier list, guys. I'll just, let's see if I can fit it all on screen. Here's A through F, if you want to look at it. And here's cringe tier. Classic cringe guns. I think that'll be it for me today, boys. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. And like the video if you like it. Let me know your thoughts on the tier list. If you agree, disagree, let me know what you'd change. Even though this was 100% factual, so you can't disagree or you're wrong, guaranteed. But yeah. See you guys later. Peace.